አቢሲኒያ የሚለውን ስም ማን ነው ከኛ ከኢትዮጵያኖች ጥርቅ አድርጎ ያጠፋው? ታሪክ ውስጥ እንደው ይኖር ይሆን? ስለ አቢሲኒያ ይነገር ይሆን? አላውቅም። ግን እስቲ ዛሬ አንድ ሁለት ምለው ምንድነው ኬንያ ውስጥ አሁን ስንሄድ ማለት ነው ኬንያ ላይ የኬንያ ተራራ የአፍሪካ ትልቁ ተብሎ የሚባለው የኪሊማን'ጃ'ሮ ተራራ ነው። ይሄ በታሪክም እኛ ልጅ ሆነን የምንማረው ነገር የነበረ ነው ልጅ ሆነን እና በውጪም ይሄ ነገር ይባላል። እንግሊዝ ሀገርም ላይ ተማሪ ነበርኩና ይሄን ነገር እንሰማለን። አሁንም ጉግል ላይም ተደርጎ ቢገባ መቼም ስለ ኪሊማን'ጃ'ሮ ይነገራል። አሁን እውነት እንደው ኢትዮጵያኖች እንደው ታውቃላችሁ የዚህ የኪሊማን'ጃ'ሮ የቀድሞ ስሙ ማለት ነው። እንግዲህ ሊቃውንቶች እንግዲህ ምናልባት ከዚህ በኋላ እንግዲህ ፈልፈል ሊያረጉት ይችላሉ። እንደው ከረዳችሁ ቲፕ ነገር ጣል አድርግላችሁ ኪሊማን'ጃ'ሮ አልነበረም የሚባለው የአቢሲኒያ ተራራ ነበር የሚባለው። የአቢሲኒያ ወንዝም የሚባል ነበር ማለት ነው። የአቢሲኒያ ወንዝ የሚባልም ነበር። እንግዲህ ከዚህ ከኢትዮጵያ ጋር ምን አገናኘው? የኢትዮጵያ የቀድሞ ስሟ እኮ ነው። ታዲያ የቀድሞ ስሟ ከሆነ ማን ወሰደው? እንዴትስ ሊነሳ ቻለ? ማን ሰረዘው? አሁንስ ለምን ስለዚህ አቢሲኒያ አይነገርም? እንግዲህ እኔ አሁን ከሳጥን ውስጥ ቅድም ነግሬያችኋለሁ። ሳጥን ውስጥ ከተው ቆልፈው ባህር ውስጥ ለቀቁት። ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ የአብርሃም አምላክ ደግሞ ባህሩን አደረቀውና ያ ሳጥን ጥልል ብሎ ወጥቶ ከዛ ያንን ሳጥን ደግሞ እኔ ከፈት አድርጌ ሳየው አቢሲኒያ የሚል ወጣ ከውስጡ። ታሽጎ ማለት ነው።
Based on our research, there is compelling evidence that Abyssinia is the land of the prophets, all the way from Adam to Isa. It is where we have Al-Tur, or the Tower Plateau, and the Temple of Yeha, Beit ul-Maqdis, or Al-Beit al-Mamur, in the Abyssinian highlands.
Let's get started with and by the house frequented. The obvious understanding is that on the Tur, on the Tower Heights, on the biggest highest spot in all of the Arabian and African region, the Abyssinian highlands, there is a place of worship. On the Abyssinian highlands exists the oldest place of worship, the Temple of Yeha. The oldest standing structure in Ethiopia was able to resist earthquakes that swept through the area. The Temple of Yeha goes back to before Christianity and Islam. It was built in the days of the Prophet Solomon and is now considered to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site. What if I tell you that the Yeha Temple is the actual place that used to hold the true Ark Abyssinian Yeha's word, meaning the place of worship where you put the Ark of the Covenant, the Tabut. Yeha Temple was the place that preserved the Ark before it moved to its current location. As for the area that is called Beit al-Maqdis, that we know in Palestine right now, it was not called that during the time the Muslims entered Egypt. This area was called Il-Elia, and the proof lies in the covenant. The Vatican's narrative around the Holy Family's journey from Palestine to Asyut might not be as convincing as the story documented in the oldest Bible, written more than 2,000 years ago and preserved in the Abyssinian highlands, the Torah. This book, which has been proved by carbon dating to be the oldest Bible on earth, states that the trip started from Abyssinia all the way to Asyut and back to Abyssinia. Precisely, it's stated where it ended at the land of Tana in the Abyssinian Torah.
The one common thing between the story of the Vatican and the one in the Bible is this place where the Holy Family stayed, in Asyut, for the duration of 6 months and 10 days. However, if you search on Google Earth, you will find that the front wall of the Church of Mary in Asyut is perpendicular to the northern corner of the Temple of Yeha, Beit al-Maqdis, where the Ark of Covenant was preserved in the city of Aksua, now called Aksum in Tigray. Following this tradition, churches everywhere are supposed to face the Temple of Yeha. The fact that the Bible that is preserved in Abyssinian highlands, the Torah, goes back to more than 2,000 years ago proves that it is the original biblical source. All the current translations to different languages were done from a Greek Bible, which was originally translated from the original Hebrew Bible. That said,
they're a dark-skinned population, which establishes that Jacob and Joseph also had dark skin. And since Moses was born to Israelite parents, then Moses was dark-skinned. Now, Beit al-Maqdis, Jerusalem and Bethlehem are on the Abyssinian highlands, where Moses settled with the Israelites, and then Jesus, who was sent as a prophet to the Israelites after Moses was born in Bethlehem in Abyssinia. This establishes that Jesus was dark-skinned, born to Mary, a dark-skinned mother. Jesus was not a European person with blue eyes, straight hair and Caucasian features, as featured in many of today's churches. It's obvious that all those prophets, including Jesus, had very dark skin.
Filled. And let's search in the Torah or the Abyssinian highlands for the book written in organized lines on an unrolled goat skin. You will find the secret in this book. In the heart of the Abyssinian highlands, the Torah, and inside of the city of Aksua, now called Aksum in Tigray, the oldest Bible on earth has been discovered. The writing is organized in fine letters in the Abyssinian language Ge'ez, a South Arabian language, as if it was written by a typewriter, and in beautiful colors as if it was written recently. While its pages are straight and not flipped, the pages of the Bible are made from dried goat skin, or rek as it is called in Arabic. This is very significant because the skin of the goat, or rek, is an organic material that contains carbon atoms which can be recognized by radiated carbon testing to clearly identify the age of the document. According to these tests, it is the oldest Bible in the world, dating back to 330 AD, or more than 2,000 years. The local monks believe that this book holds magic properties. It has been preserved as one book without any damage or deterioration to the beauty of its writings and colours over time. Despite the Italian colonisation of Abyssinia and a fire in the church, the book is still perfectly preserved. You'll find in this book 3 important pieces of information. First, the Jerusalem temple is located in the Abyssinian highlands, the Torah. The information is that Christianity entered all Africa, including Egypt, through European colonisation of the African continent. But Abyssinia was different, as Christianity was there before Europe.
Based on what archaeologists have found during an excavation, is that these buildings go back centuries before Christ. In other words, this is the old Jerusalem and not the new one that Solomon himself built, as specified in the Torah.
The second location mentioned in Moses and Pharaoh's story refers to where Pharaoh sunk with his army. Another reference to Al-Yam is where Moses' mother sent him afloat in a basket when God ordered her to do so to save him from the soldiers of the Pharaoh. So while we agree that Moses at the beginning of the story was thrown in Al-Yam and the Pharaoh at the end of the story sunk in Al-Yam, we associate 2 meanings to Al-Yam. We claim that the first Al-Yam is the River Nile and contradict ourselves by saying that the second Al-Yam refers to the Red Sea, where the Pharaoh and his army supposedly met their fate. Wrong. Both instances refer to the river where Moses was left as a child and the place where the Pharaoh and his army sunk beneath the water. Perspective, the Abyssinian highlands is considered to be one block, moulded since creation from one origin. This range is called the Abyssinian Tower, also referred to as the African Tower, because it is the biggest group of mountains with a height that extends in one chain in Africa for a very long distance, 519,278 kilometers squared. That's why Ethiopia is sometimes referred to as a tower. Even the highest peak in Africa, Mount Kilimand'Ja'ro, extends only to 4,000 kilometers squared.
ዘኢትዮጵያ